Hello, I'm Chris Barrow with the BBC News. President Biden has urged the US Congress to pass a policing reform bill quickly in memory of George Floyd. After a private meeting at the White House with Mr. Floyd's relatives exactly a year after he was killed by a white policeman, Mr. Biden said both accountability and trust were needed in the justice system. Barbara Plett-Usher has more.
Mr. Floyd's family members went to Capitol Hill to press for the passage of a police reform bill named after him, but it's stuck in partisan divides at the Senate. Mr. Biden supports the bill. He told family members he wanted it to be meaningful rather than rush it through. Movement on criminal justice reform has been slow here in Minneapolis, too. But activists and citizens say they have seen progress in community solidarity and in the greater national focus on racism.
A BBC investigation has learned that artificial intelligence that claims to be able to reveal how a person is feeling is being trialled on Uyghur people in detention in Western China. Rahil Sheikh reports from London.
A software engineer who asked to remain anonymous said that he installed AI-enabled cameras in police stations which claim to be able to measure what someone was feeling and thinking by detecting minute changes in blood flow and skin pores in the face. He said the system was used on Uyghur detainees to test its accuracy. He claims the software was intended for, in his words, prejudgments without any credible evidence of wrongdoing. The Chinese embassy didn't respond to questions about the use of emotional recognition software, but said the rights of all ethnic groups in Xinjiang were fully guaranteed.
A court in Venezuela has ordered the arrest of two prominent musicians for the alleged sexual abuse of teenagers. Their lawyers haven't yet commented on the charges. Our Americas editor, Leonardo Rocha, reports.
Venezuela's chief prosecutor, Tarek William Saab, has urged the public to come forward with information that could lead to the detention of Tony Maestracci and Alejandro Sojo, who play in well-known bands. He published pictures on Twitter of the arrest warrants. The court decision comes a month after the prosecutor's office decided to open an investigation into allegations of abuse posted on social media by several fans of the two bands, Tomates Fritos and Los Colores. Judicial decisions in Venezuela are often politically charged, but there's no indication that the two musicians are being targeted for their views on the government.
The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken is due to travel to Egypt today for talks with the President and Foreign Minister on the recent outbreak of fighting between Israel and Hamas. On Tuesday, he met Israeli and Palestinian leaders and reiterated the US commitment to a two-state solution to the conflict. This is the latest world news from the BBC. US media say prosecutors in New York have convened a grand jury to decide whether to indict the former President Donald Trump on criminal charges. The jury will consider evidence gathered during investigations into Mr. Trump's business dealings and the alleged payment of hush money to women on the former president's behalf. Mr. Trump has denied any wrongdoing. The girlfriend of Roman Protasiewicz, the Belarusian journalist detained when a flight was diverted to Minsk on Sunday, has appeared in a confession video. Sofia Sapiega, who was arrested at the same time as Mr. Protasiewicz, appears to be speaking under duress whilst admitting that she released information on Belarusian security forces. Cuba says the United States has granted visas to its national baseball team to participate in a qualifying tournament in Florida for the Tokyo Olympics. The move has been welcomed in Cuba, which has the most successful baseball team in Olympic history. Warren Bull reports.
The Cuban Baseball Federation says it hopes to travel to Florida on Wednesday ahead of the qualifying tournament and has thanked US baseball officials and several Olympic committees for their support. The process of applying for American visas became more difficult when President Trump cut consular services in Havana, and the coronavirus pandemic added to the problem. But after lobbying by Cuba, Washington allowed the baseball team to make an application last week. While it's too early to tell if the decision hints at a wider thawing of relations between Havana and Washington under President Biden, Cuba will nonetheless welcome the chance to add to its record Olympic medal haul in its national sport.
Ecuador has confirmed that a giant tortoise found on one of the Galapagos Islands is from a species believed to be extinct for more than a century. The director of the Galapagos National Park, Danny Rueda, has said that an expedition will be launched to the Fernandina Island to try to locate other members of the same species, Chelanoidis fantasticus. BBC News.